I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call and quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all it is. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. My heart on my sleeve. Stress, shield my greed. That's how I get it. Success ain't no giving. Some days I don't hit, I don't sleep. When I'm focused on dangerous, down wonder when I'm anxious. Ain't no limit till I tank. I'm running on fumes. The opposition don't amaze. The roads racing through the pavement. Get your hands out of my bag. I know that's because I've been in it. I don't need to brag. I guess that's what happens when you taking care of your business. But some family, you do the math. I'm out of my pocket. Houston, we got a problem, man. Perfect, let them watch me elevating. Got them noxious, cause I'm the pilot in the cockpit. Nose diving in the housing. Woo! Watch how I get ahead, watch how I get ahead, watch how I get ahead.
It's time! Welcome to DFS by the Numbers with your host, Brady.
Better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. These are my final thoughts for UFC Vegas 91. Mateus Nicolau going against Alex Perez. We have a 13-fight card. And yeah, I think it's a pretty fun card. I think it's a pretty fun card, especially this main card. You know, some of the prelims, not so much. Like, I'm not really looking forward to Michael Figlak, Austin Hubbard. I'm definitely not looking forward to Kyle Machado, Dontel Mays. And I'm absolutely not looking forward to Ketlin Souza, Marnik Mann. But yeah, a lot of these main card fights are incredible. Jonathan Pierce, David Onama, Eros Medic, Tim Means, Jonathan Diaz, Austin Lane, Karina Silva, Ariana, like pretty much the whole main card. And then a couple prelims I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to, of course, Liang Na versus Ivana Petrovic. And then the very first fight of the night is going to be fun as well. Mahashate going against Benitez. So overall, I think it's a fun card. I think it's going to bring a lot of violence. From a betting perspective, not a ton sticking out. I do have 4 or 5 bets thus far, looking to add a couple more. Going to keep it lightish this week. But yeah, some spots definitely sticking out. I have 2 parlays as well. So looking forward to seeing if we can hit those. And yeah, looking forward to breaking it down. Before we get started, if you guys could please do me a favor, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. If you guys want to check out Prize Picks, use promo code DFSBTN. You'll get a 100% deposit match up to $100. If you guys have any Prize Picks questions, we'll touch on that. Yeah, not a ton sticking out on Prize Picks. There's one play I really like, but I'm still looking to pair it with something else that I really like. But yeah, there is one play I really do like on Prize Picks. Just having trouble, pairing it with something I love. But we'll talk about it. And let's also hit up the chat. We have Elijah One, first one in the building, saying, "Let's go. What is up, Elijah One?" We got Jacob. Superman spanned by brutal knockout. I cannot wait for that co-main event. That's going to be a very violent fight. But I need a Guskov KO. I need a finish in general. I parlayed up the fight won't start round 3 with something else on the card. I would not risk Guskov. Yeah, the whole fight I think is very risky because I think Span's the better fighter, but Span is just very untrustworthy. One punch and it's over. Light heavyweight division. Yeah, especially with these two. Both these guys hit hard. Brady for president, maybe one day. I'm not old enough yet. I think you have to be 35, so 10 years away. We got real fight picks in the building. What is up? Bolo saying I need the KO 3 units placed on Guskov. Best of luck. I mean, anything can happen. Anything can happen. Vinicius Oliveira versus Ricky Simone. Who y'all got? Yeah, I saw that. I mean, what an incredible fight. I hope it's an actual fight. I only saw like one account posting it, and it was in like a different language. But yeah, if that fight's legit for UFC 303, that fight is an incredible fight for UFC 303. Span showing up to face-offs with the Superman cape. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to trust Span. He's going out there in the cage making bad decisions, and outside the cage, the cape, probably not the best decision as well. We got Average Dad Gaming becoming a member. Appreciate you, Average Dad Gaming. Does mean a lot, does help a lot. Karina Silva via submission. Yeah, I haven't bet on that fight yet, but there's a spot that I'm really liking. We'll touch on it. We got Andre saying, "Hey, Brady, glad to be joining in again. Very interested to see what you had to say. Let's go." Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to this card. Liang Na, a brunette now. Yeah, I'm pissed off, man. So that means if she wins the fight, I have to buy a whole new wig. She went brunette on us, so the blonde wig is probably getting thrown in the trash. Tony C saying, I love the wig, Brady. You have to love a fighter that comes out guns blazing and has 3 minutes of cardio. Definitely rooting for Liang. Nah, going to go to decision. Yeah, I'm rooting for it to go to decision as well, because that is a key parlay piece for me this week. If Brady is not looking forward to any fight, just bet the overs on those always works, and you're 110% correct. You're so right about that. So right about that. Thoughts on Onama as an underdog? I have a funny story about that fight. We'll touch on it. I'm going with Pierce, but like I said, we'll touch on it. We got Jen in the building. What is up, Jenna? Why am I scared of Means and Yaya? If anything, you might be a little bit scared of Means, but I don't think you should be scared of Yaya, to be honest. We got Samuel saying, Happy Friday, Brady. Not too excited for this card, but I'm thankful we have one. Me too. I feel like nobody's excited for this card. I feel like this is, UFC 300 was incredible, one of the best cards of all time. I feel like everybody is still hung over from that card. I feel like a lot of people just don't give a crap about this week. Which, makes sense, because, you're going from one of the best cards of all time to, Dontel Mays, Kyle Machado. So I get it. This card is definitely for the hardcore fans. Like, if you're looking forward to this one, you are definitely a hardcore fan, which I am, which I'm looking forward to this card. Brady didn't factor in having to buy new wigs into his bankroll management. No, those wigs are expensive, man. I think I paid $20 plus shipping for the Lang Na wig. Was able to get 3-4 fights use out of it, which, decent. But yeah, this is probably the last time I'll get to put that wig to use. So it's a shame, but it is what it is. Bare knuckle fighting is Saturday. Okay, yeah, we got some other promotions going on this weekend as well. Any fights are better than no fights on Saturdays. Yeah. Yep. Nothing wrong with a week off every now and then, but yeah, 100% agree. I'm excited for this card. That break sucked. Not for me. I was getting a little burnt out. I was like 12 weeks in a row of content, but yeah, needed that break. But yeah, excited to get right back into it here. All right, guys. I say we get into it. We have some fights to talk about. I'm going to quickly go through some of these trash prelims, but the first two prelims are most definitely not trash. We got Mahashate going against Gabriel Benitez. This fight is going to be probably the best fight on the prelims, to be honest. I think these guys are going to throw down, and I think somebody's probably going to get served here. I do lean towards Mahashate. It looks like, yeah, his money line's kind of gotten smashed throughout the week. He was sitting around minus 180 for a while. He's now minus 240. I was looking at the Mahashate by knockout prop. I was hoping to get maybe plus 150 or better. I'm not getting plus 150 or better. Looks like the best price is plus 120. I think the under is solid, but you're laying a little bit of juice. It's minus 150 best price. So I think violence is the best route to go. I don't think I'm going to touch this fight, but I think an under is fine. I like Mahashate to win this fight. I like him to win it by knockout. Benitez, he's getting older. The durability is waning a little bit. He's been finished a lot as of recent. So I think Mahashate probably lands a big shot at some point and finishes it, but not much sticking out. I think all these lines are pretty accurate. From a DraftKings perspective, don't think I'll touch Benitez at 7,400. Even Mahashate, I'm not too excited about, because I think he has zero grappling upside. I think he's kind of reliant on maybe a first round knockout, and there's just so many other great plays around him. So overall, I think it's going to be a fun fight. I think it's going to be a violent fight, but not a fight I'm really looking forward to from a betting perspective, really a DraftKings perspective as well. If anything, it's Mahashate, though, at 8,800. I still haven't made my lineups yet. I'm going to do that tonight. Okay. Mike Perry versus Thiago Alves. That'd be fun. Itching to watch some fights. Me as well. Jalen Turner tried to play referee after getting PTSD from the green stoppage. He did, and that definitely cost me there. So that definitely sucked. Mahashate needs a win for sure. He gets it done. Yeah, he definitely does need a win. He's coming off that knockout loss against Slava Borshev. Jubli pulled out of this fight against Mahashate. Mowgli as a replacement. That is correct. There's a couple replacements on this card, and yes, that is one of them. First fight is always sketchy. Mahashate caught Garcia stepping back, and Benitez can still crack. They will swing crazy for sure. Yeah, I think it's a violent fight. I think a violence bet hits, but you're not getting the best odds on it, I'd say. Like, the fight doesn't go like minus 200. I don't love it at that number, but I think it hits for what it's worth. All right. We will move on to the next fight here. We have Ivana Petrovic going against Liang Na. And we have Petrovic as looks like a minus 500 favorite here. And we have Liang Na as like a big, massive underdog, which, as you guys know, I'm a big, massive Liang Na fan, but it's just really hard to pick her in a fight. It always is hard to pick her in a fight. Let's see here. Yeah, this is. I think I'm frozen, but we'll just keep talking through it. StreamYard's been screwing. Yep, StreamYard's been screwing me up as of late. Let's see if this is still. Yeah, okay, so we're still good. I'm frozen, but it is what it is. StreamYard keeps getting me week after week. It is what it is. So yeah, this is a very important fight for me from a betting perspective. I'm on the fight doesn't go to decision. Bovada opened it up at minus 275, which was ridiculous. And I put that with two parlays. So I parlayed up the fight doesn't go to decision with two other pieces on this card. So 3 units total. And I'll go over the parlays real quick. So the first parlay is the Liang Na Petrovic fight doesn't go to decision, parlayed with the Ryan Spann fight won't start round 3. That came out to minus 150 for 1.5 units. And then the other parlay was the Petrovic Liang Na fight doesn't go to decision, parlayed with the Denise Austin Lane fight won't start round 3. Same line, minus 150 for 1.5 units. If both those hit, come out 2 units. And yeah, I think the fight doesn't go is a great parlay piece. Probably should have max bet that fight doesn't go to decision at minus 275 to begin with. Was looking at maybe adding like a fight won't start round 3 at minus 150 or better, but not getting minus 150 or better. But yeah, Liang Na, 26 fights. 25 out of those 26 have not gone the distance. 26 fights for Liang Na. 25 out of those 26 have not seen the third round. And then 23 out of 26 Liang Na fights have finished under 1.5 rounds. So, first of all, I think the total is interesting. So I'm on the fight doesn't go, but the under at plus money is just hilarious to me. Like an under 1.5 in a Liang Na fight should never be plus money. I've seen some people on the over, like I guess it can maybe hit. I think it may like squeak over ever so slightly, but I would not be betting any over in a Liang Na fight. Like if you bet an over in a Liang Na fight, I'm not really sure what the thought process is at all. Like we've seen her quit so many times. She has 2 or 3 minutes of cardio. It wouldn't shock me if Petrovic finished her in the first. So I was looking at maybe like a Liang Na round 1 prop. I see somebody in the chat mention like the round 1 for Liang Na. And I think like best price is like plus 1,100. And then Liang Na round 1 sub, I saw on Bet365 is like plus 2,200. I don't hate those sprinkles. Like if she is going to win this fight, she is going to win it by first round, probably first round submission. So I'll be rooting for Liang Na, but most importantly, I'll be rooting for violence. And like I said, I have that tied to 2 different parlays. You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. Wow. I just looked at my my picture on the screen. I look like a complete idiot. I look like a complete idiot. You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. But it is what it is. StreamYard's been screwing me. Maybe it's my laptop. Maybe it's my laptop. Either way, I've been getting screwed quite a bit as of late. Maybe it's my laptop. All right. Anywho, let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. I'm not sure I'll be able to pull up. Not sure I'll be able to pull up any chats, but I'll try. Let's see. There we go. Okay, we're somewhat working here. Does that tattoo say Chase Super? No, it says Chase Sherman. It says Chase Sherman. Just cashed a. Yeah, I mean it froze last time too. It's getting quite annoying. Let's see. Why the Padilla pick? I'm not picking Padilla. I'm picking Yontop. I must have accidentally highlighted the wrong person. Yeah, I'm definitely going Yontop. Let's see what else we got. Is that sarcasm when you say fighters like Cachoeira and Liang Na is your favorite? Absolutely, it's not sarcasm at all. I mean, how could you not like Liang Na? She's very, very exciting, very fun to watch. I'm a big fan of Liang Na. Let's see what else we have. Where's the wig? It is not going on. If you guys saw the weigh-ins, Liang Na is no longer blonde. No longer blonde. I have an Apple computer. It's fairly new and it was so expensive, which is annoying, but looking like Shavkat there, I'll take that as a compliment. Shavkat is a very handsome man. All right. I say we keep moving on. We will go to the next fight. We have James Yontop going against Chris Padilla. We have Yontop as, I believe, the second or biggest favorite on the card right now. We got Yontop minus 440. Okay, so like second biggest favorite behind Petrovic. And then we have Chris Padilla plus 340. Yeah, I'm not touching this fight, I don't think. I think Yontop wins it. I like Yontop. Jeez. Am I still frozen looking like an idiot like that? I'm gonna refresh. I don't want to be looking like that. Let's see. Yeah, that's bad. StreamYard did me very dirty. Yeah, thanks a lot, StreamYard. $25 a month. $25 a month. Unbelievable. Anyway, yeah, going on top, but he's a massive favorite. I was impressed with what I saw in his Contender Series fight against Malik Lewis. He had Malik Lewis hurt in every single round, the first, second, and third round. Maybe he's able to finish Chris Padilla here. What I was looking for was maybe like, I'm kind of surprised the fight doesn't go as like minus 200. The under 2.5 is like minus 170. Like, if anything, at those prices, I would be looking over, but I'm not touching this fight from a betting perspective. What I am touching is going to be the Draftkings side of things for Yontop. Yontop is a 8,200 price fighter on Draftkings, and he's minus 440 on the money line, which just it brings a lot of value to the table. Chris Padilla is coming in here on short notice. So I think Yontop wins this fight. Maybe a late finish, but even if he wins by decision at that price tag, it's very hard to ignore. So I love Yontop. He's going to be my highest exposed fighter, and he will be one of probably the mostly owned fighter on the entire card, but for good reason. Like, his 8,200, he should be priced at like 9,400 in this case. So give me Yontop for the win. I like him from a DraftKings perspective. All right. When you speak of Liang, is someone pointing a gun at you? No. Let's see. We get the fight breakdowns in a ventriloquist show. Let's go. Yes, nothing wrong with that. Plus, Liang is a good dude. Yeah, he's a very, very good dude. It's okay, Brady. We're still rocking with you. I'm at work and do not care. Yeah, it just sucks. Yeah, you pay $25 to StreamYard. Maybe it's not even streaming. Maybe it's my laptop, but it's a new laptop. So somebody needs held accountable, whether it's Apple or whether it's StreamYard. But they keep screwing me. Why do you have a picture of Tyra behind you? I don't know. You bet on Chase Sherman. I was just kidding. I don't have Chase Sherman tatted on my arm. Did you see the new fighter to miss weight prop on DraftKings? Yes, and I wish I could bet on that. I think it's only in Canada, unfortunately. But yeah, I thought that was hilarious. David Onama missed weight, and I think even Yontop missed weight. If he didn't, he missed weight by like a half a pound. So yeah. All right, guys, we'll keep moving on. We have Ketlin Souza going against Marnik Man, and yeah, some of these prelims are just awful, and this is one of them. Ketlin Souza is minus 355. Marnik Man is plus 290. I think that, Marnik Man does have a path to victory. It's just, I'm not sure if she's that great. I'm not sure if she's UFC caliber. Ketlin Souza is going to be the moment winner on the feed, and the minute winner on the feed as well. I actually like Souza's striking quite a bit. She comes forward. She's very high volume, has some power. She's aggressive. So, yeah, there's some good things on the Souza side. I do think she has a hole in her game with the takedown defense. She can't be taken down. She can't be held down. And in theory, like Marnik Mann has that path. It's just I went back and watched some of Marnik Mann's fights outside the UFC, and it's like, she's making a ton of mistakes on the ground. She's getting reversed. She's getting put in bad spots against like really low level fighters. And I just think that maybe Mann's able to get some takedowns, but I can't count on her to really do that. I think Souza wins, but at the same time, you can't go out there and lay minus 355 on Ketlin Souza. So yeah, it's a giant pass from a betting perspective, and even from like a DraftKings perspective, it's hard to get to Ketlin Souza when you have so many good plays surrounding her. Like you got Ryan Spann, who's cheaper. You have Jonathan Deniz, who's cheaper. Eros Medic, who's cheaper. Victor Henry, who's more expensive, and I think is a better play. So I'll be fading Ketlin Souza here. And then as far as Marnik, maybe a couple shares of Marnik McMahon from a DraftKings perspective. But that's about it. All right, let's move on. We have Kyle Machado going against Dontel Mays. And Kyle Machado was sitting as an underdog last week. And if I would have looked into it on time, I probably would have a bet on Kyle Machado now. At this price, it's probably accurate. Like Dontel Mays, in theory, he does have a path to victory. I think he's the harder hitting fighter in this matchup. Maybe he does go out there and wrestle. We've seen Machado taken down, held down, but on the feet, I really do like the striking of Machado better. He has zero power, which is weird for a heavyweight, but absolute zero power. He's probably never going to finish anybody in the UFC, but he has really good volume. Like Kyle Machado can go out there and land well over 100 strikes in a 3-round fight, and have good cardio doing so along the way, which you don't really see that a ton at the heavyweight division. So I think should be Machado just out voluming Mays every single round. But yeah, Mays, he's going to be landing those bigger shots. He's the only guy in this matchup with somewhat of power. And then Mays might get takedowns here is the thing. So at plus money, I would definitely be tempted, but I think a pick makes a lot of sense. I think this fight's going to get greasy. I think this fight's going to go to decision, and I think the judges are going to probably screw it up as well. So it's a pretty easy fade from a betting perspective and a DraftKings perspective, especially. Pantoja next week is my lock. All my parlays include him. Oh boy, he's beating the top 5 2 times. Urseg beat Matt Schnell. Like, congrats, bro. Everyone has finished Matt. Yeah, that Matt Schnell win just means nothing. But Urseg, I wouldn't completely count him out. But yeah, Matt Schnell, and anybody beats that guy. Dontel, Kong, Mays. I was on him when he dusted old man Arlovsky. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you had to have been, but Kyle Machado is not 43. Mays by greasy decision. Yeah, could get greasy. Mays is very clumsy, and Machado's last fight was nothing to be impressed about. I had Mays by KO, then Machado by decision, then went back to Mays KO. I will be having nothing on this fight, and I'll be very happy about it. Some of these prelims are rough. A couple rough ones in a row, and this next one's kind of rough as well. It's Michael Figlak going against Austin Hubbard. And yeah, I want nothing to do with this fight either. I think Michael Figlak is a lot better than he showed in his debut, but I just can't get the image out of my head of Farazayam just out wrestling him, taking him down. Like that's inexcusable. And it was his debut. It was, I believe, in Paris, but still, seeing Farazayam go out there and look like Khamzat Chimaev against this guy was just a very terrible look. So in theory, Austin Hubbard, he could go out there, get takedowns, get control time. I think Austin Hubbard's a very live dog, but I have a weird feeling about this fight. We haven't seen Figlak in almost 2 years. He's a young dude. I think the last time we saw him, he was 25, and we've seen time and time again where fighters make their debut and they don't look that great, and then they come back and look like a completely different fighter. And I think that could happen here, but that's just a lot of assumptions, especially when you're laying, minus 170, minus 180 on this guy. I don't know how anybody can go back and watch the Zion fight and lay chalk on this guy. But yeah, I think we do see an improved version of Figlak, a much better version, and maybe that's enough to beat Hubbard. But yeah, I'm not touching this fight. I don't want to bet on Austin Hubbard, but at the same time, I really don't want to lay chalk on Michael Figlak. So I'm fading this fight for sure. Have no interest in it. And I would say it's the worst fight on the card, but Kyle Machado and Dontel Mays are fighting. So it's a big pass. And then passing from a DraftKings perspective as well, for the most part. If anything, it's Hubbard for the wrestling upside, but I'm not too confident he's able to implement that game plan. So yeah, it's a big pass for me. Passing on a lot of these prelims, and this is one of them. May's money line, don't do decision. He finished Andre. Yeah, if anybody's getting a finish in that fight, honestly, it's probably May. I just don't see Machado finishing anybody ever. This is a smoke break fight. I don't smoke, but maybe I might start after having to research some of these fights this week. Maybe I might have to start smoking. Thoughts on Machado and the under 0.5 takedowns? It's minus 320. Thoughts on Machado under a half a takedown? It's minus 320, but it's available on Prize Picks. I think that's a steal. They have Kyle Machado's takedowns set at 0.5. That makes no sense. Kyle Machado's not taking down anybody. Yeah, I mean, take the less there. I don't know, be shocked if Kyle Machado shot a takedown. Just wouldn't make sense. I don't see it on Prize Picks myself, but if you have it, yeah. He's not getting a takedown, I don't think. I love fight starts round 2 for the Nah fight better than Ivana money line. I think it starts round 2, but I would absolutely not bet that, man. I mean, Liang Na's been to the second round like 3 times in 26 fights. Like, this fight could absolutely end in the first round. So I'd be careful doing it. It's minus 275. Like, if I'm betting any over in a Nah fight, I need a plus money number, and you're laying almost minus 300 for that. I don't know, dude. I think it does start round 2, but it could very well finish in the first round. Only 3 fights have not for Liang Na. What is your favorite type of M&Ms? I do not eat M&Ms. Don't smoke anything with menthol. I'm not gonna smoke. I was just joking. If it's not there anymore, they removed it, but I got it earlier today. Well, they removed it for a reason, because that shouldn't even have been been on there. Because Machado, he's not getting a takedown. You wouldn't think. I mean, anything can happen, but it just wouldn't make any sense to me. All right, let's move on to the next fight and finally start to get into some fights I have some interest in from a betting perspective. The first one is going to be Victor Henry going against Ronnie Yahya. Victor Henry is now minus 365, and Ronnie Yahya is plus 290. So some money's coming in on Ronnie Yahya. I don't understand it whatsoever. This should be a really easy fight for Victor Henry. I mean, Ronnie Yahya is 40 years old at this point, and just kind of a really tough matchup for Ronnie Yahya. He's taking on Victor Henry, who has incredible volume, cardio, takedown defense, get-up game, good jiu-jitsu in his own right. It should be a pretty easy night for Victor Henry. The question is, does he go out there and win a decision, or does he push the pace and get that finish? And if he does push a pace here and look for that finish, I think he probably gets it. Ronnie Yahya, he doesn't get finished a ton, but this is going to be like one of the tougher matchups in Ronnie Yahya's entire career. Like, I was looking through Ronnie Yahya in his UFC run. He's fighting like not the best competition whatsoever. I think Ronnie Yahya has an incredible manager, because some of these wins are just terrible. Like Ray Rodriguez, Luke Sanders, Henry Briones, Matthew Lopez, Johnny Bedford. The list goes on and on. Like, there are terrible wins here. So yeah, I think it's a tough matchup for Ronnie Yahya. And I think these Victor Henry late props are very, very, very much in play. And I did sprinkle them myself. FanDuel did have Victor Henry to win by second or third round knockout, the combo at plus 430 last night. I didn't pull the trigger on it, but I was able to sprinkle just Victor Henry round 2 knockout and Victor Henry round 3 knockout. I think they'll be on the table. I think at the very least he's going to drop Ronnie Yahya a couple times. But we'll see if he shows any urgency to go out there and finish. And if he does, I think he could get Ronnie Yahya out of there. Yahya's only getting older. He's had a layoff. The durability is iffy. So, yeah, give me Victor Henry. I think he probably finishes in the second or third round. So, yeah, just small sprinkles for sure up in this range. But I don't think Henry's that bad of a play with the volume, maybe late finishing upside. But there are some plays I like better in that 9,000 range. Let's see. Cleaned up at UFC 300. Yeah, I had a good night as well. Could have been great if Zhang Weili finished Yan Zhang. I wish she did. She finished her twice. She choked her out, and then she TKO'd her, but the fight wasn't stopped. But yeah, still had a good night thanks to Max Holloway, but could have been a great night had that come through, or if Turner followed up and finished Moicano. So could have been like a 10-unit night had those swings go my way. A lot of talk on the Tim Means fight. Well, I promise we'll touch on that. Gun to the head, who wins? Machado versus Mays. I hope nobody takes a gun to my head and makes me talk about this fight, but I'd pick Machado. Tim Means is my pick, and in a parlay as well. Oh boy. Henry 2-3, I think are fine bets. I sprinkled 2-3 KO myself, small. Not extremely confident in it, but if he comes in there with the right game plan, pushes the pace, he should finish. Ronnie Yaya not only looks old, but he walks like someone taking a stroll at an assisted living center. Yeah, on paper it says he's 39, but he's actually 70. I got Means winning round 2, or it could be Means by decision. Ronnie Yaya ain't going to do jack except lay on the ground and flop his legs around. Yeah, a lot of flopping I can see happening in this fight. It's a weird fight. Under 1.5 in the lane fight, yes. It's one of those fights where it's obvious Medic should win, but he won't. Y'all tripping. Medic looks like the vet. Which money line are you more confident in? Petrovic, Jan Top, or Henry? Henry, absolutely. We got money line Mills. What is up? Let's cash, my guy. Let's do it. Medic looked good against Oral Boy. If you think Medic looked horrible against Oral Boy, I mean, I would suggest going back and watching that fight. If you think Means anywhere near Oral Boy, you're tripping beyond belief. Yeah, I agreed with the last part. Have you seen the ticket prices for UFC 302 in New Jersey? I have not, but I did see the ticket prices for UFC 303 International Fight Weekend. I'm kind of pissed off, to be honest. I went last year. The ticket prices were like still expensive, 500 for like the cheapest, 450, 500. But I went today to look at the prices, and I kid you not, it was like $2,000 to like $2,700 for nosebleeds. Like who's paying almost $3,000 for trash seats? Just ridiculous. So I'm still probably gonna head out to Vegas, but I guess I'm not going to the card because I'm not spending $2,000 on a ticket. I mean, $2,000 on a ticket, like that's ridiculous. That's Super Bowl prices right there, just about. This could be his last fight. Henry KO props, a good one. I'm in. Yeah, it's not a bad look. Henry parlay piece. Yep, I don't hate it. We got Uncle Weezy in the building. Oi, what is up, Uncle Weezy? Looking forward to doing probability next week with Uncle Weezy on the channel on Wednesday. I think Wednesday. We'll double check, but I think Wednesday. Looking forward to it. Has some big plans coming with Uncle Weezy. Is the UFC hangover, or is it the UFC hangover, or is this card very hard to get up and research? You are doing the community a huge favor. I think it's both. I think everybody's hungover, even like I'm kind of hungover from UFC 300 still. It was hard to get motivated and research Dontel Mays, Kyle Machado, but it had to be done. But yeah, I think a lot of people just don't care about this week. Like nobody, I haven't really seen many people care all that much about this. And besides the hardcores, but yeah, I mean, this card, I think it's good, but that's because, I mean, I watch fights every week. Like you can tell, like this main card's gonna be fire, but yeah, the prelims I do think are quite leave a lot to be desired. I'll say that. Some hard reads on this card. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, did I read that right? Yaya by head kick KO. You think Ronnie Yaya is going to head kick KO Victor Henry? That would be one incredible call. Wednesday it is. Please read my question. Let me okay. I think you're referring to this. So if I do fight ends in round 1 by KO for any fighter, and there's a no contest in round 2, does my bet void? It depends on the book. I don't know. Like that's a good question. Like if you bet the over like 1.5, and the fight is a no contest after that over 1.5, like does that cash or does that push? I don't know. I think it depends on the book. Thankfully, I've never been in a situation like that off the top of my head. but it really all depends on the book, and they're all different. So it's hard to give you a straight up answer there. Love the occasional my titty back oral buy. Yeah, we'll be talking about my titty back next week. That's for sure. Zester saying it's a push. Yeah, it all depends on the book. All depends on the book, I'd say. I would agree. I would agree. So I would lean towards it being pushed. Oh, let's see. Do you like the Hubbard Figlac over 1.5 as a parlay piece? I don't mind it. I don't mind it. Definitely not paying 2K for a ticket when you can even stream any event for free. Yeah, I mean it's ridiculous. I don't know who, like, if you're paying $3,000 for a ticket in the nosebleeds, please let me know. I struggle to see anybody actually doing that. Like, just I don't know. It just makes no sense to me. Something just feels fishy. Like how can you pay that much money for? Like, I get it. Like 2,000-3,000 bucks for maybe floor seats. I get it, but I don't know. Like, I think even 500 is too much. But yeah, $500. I would pay that. But a couple thousand, no. What's the business model? I mean, the sad thing is, you look at the ticket, like, they pretty much did sell out with those trash prices. So people bought them. I don't know if they're looking to, buy and sell, but they pretty much did sell out. So they're going to sell regardless. So, people are getting screwed, it looks like. I didn't go to UFC 300 for those reasons. I think the cheapest price was like 1,000, I think, like $900,000. But now now these tickets, and then I'm like, okay, I'll go to 303 International Fight Week, and now it's triple the price just about. It's terrible, man. So yeah, we'll see. All right, moving on. We have, I forget which fight we're even on. Uros Medic going against Tim Means. It seems to be the talk of the town. I haven't bet anything on here yet, but I will be betting, some type of violence. I think the fight doesn't go to decision at -225 is solid. The under 2.5 rounds at -170 is solid. Uros Medic has never been the distance, and I don't think that changes here. Tim Means, he's 40 years old at this point. He's taken a lot of damage. The durability was once incredible. Nowadays it's not. He's getting hurt, quite a bit these days. A lot of submission losses, but he is getting hurt up until those sub losses. And then Uros Medic has been finished in both of his losses, showed that he has a huge hole in his game with the grappling. And in theory, Means, if he is able to get this fight down to the mat, Means is a black belt. Maybe he can find the sub. And then what I think is going to happen, though, I think these guys are just going to stand and bang. I think these guys want to do one thing and one thing only, and that is come forward and throw down. I think that's what's going to happen. So I like violence here. I'm going to be looking at that fight doesn't go to decision, -225. It's chalky, but I think it hits. And then maybe even the under 2.5 rounds, but some type of violence. And that's about it. Maybe like as a parlay piece, but I already have 2 parlays on this card as the thing. So from a Draftkings perspective, a fight that you're going to want to absolutely target. I think, every single fight on this main card should be targeted from a Draftkings perspective. With Medic, you have a guy with a 100% finish rate, a ton of power, taking on 40-year-old Means. And then with Means, you have a guy with sneaky wrestling upside, sneaky grappling upside, going against Medic, who has, shown that he can be taken down and sub. So I think both guys are in play. The lean would be Medic here, but not at -300. I don't trust him at -300. All right. Let's see. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink it. You can tell me the tickets are 3,000, but I'm not buying it. That's insane. Yeah, I was kind of pissed because I had my friend, my brother, maybe my dad. We're gonna plan on going to International Fight Week, going to the fights, but 4 tickets, like $8,000. Like, come on, man, come on. Fight is a good decision. Someone's gonna need a doctor. Yes, someone is going to need a medic. That is for sure. I like the fight ends in round 2 in the Nama Pierce fight. An Nama Pierce fight, half a unit plus for 50. I like that call. We got Hot Boy 101 saying, let's go, Hot Boy 101. All right, let's keep moving on. We have Jonathan Pierce going against David Onama. Onama did miss weight by a couple pounds. which, not the best look in theory, might help him a little bit, or it could hurt him. Maybe he didn't have the best camp. And by the way, I think this fight is like somewhat short notice as well, but maybe he didn't have the best weight cut, maybe didn't have the best camp. So yeah, the weight miss could be good, could be bad, I don't know. But what I do know is, Jonathan Pierce is going to come out here and he's going to, do Jonathan Pierce things. He's going to go out there, he's going to shoot a takedown within the first 30 seconds, and he's going to rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, break you down, cook you, and then probably finish you. I think, Jonathan Pierce is very live to finish David Onama in the second or third round. I know David Onama has never been finished, but I think Nate Landwehr really let Onama off the hook. Like, Nate Landwehr was very close to finishing Onama like 20 different times, but instead of finishing him, he got up and like raised his arm at the fans. And then even like Mason Jones had Onama in some pretty bad spots, took his back, but was not able to capitalize. But I think Jonathan Pierce does. So yeah, I like Pierce here. I like Pierce 2-3. I did sprinkle the 2-3 props. They're not the best prices, but that's because it's a Jonathan Pierce fight, and that's what he does. When Jonathan Pierce is winning, it's either round 2-3 or decision. But even some of his decision wins, like he was. I don't know how that Darren Elkins fight wasn't stopped. So I think 2-3 Pierce is in play, but I think Onama's also, like, if Onama can stuff some takedowns here, Onama can very well finish Jonathan Pierce. Pierce is very hittable. I don't think he has the best chin. Pierce has been finished, I think, 4 or 5 times in his career. So yeah, David Onama, if he's able to stuff the takedowns, keep it upright, he probably finishes Jonathan Pierce. But I struggle to see Jonathan Pierce not being able to implement that game plan with getting takedowns. We've seen Onama taken down. I don't think he's stuffing the takedowns at Pierce. What I will say is, have you guys ever had, like, maybe it's just me because all I do is think about fights, but have you guys ever had any, like, a dream about a fight outcome? And I have. It's happened a couple times. I had a dream. Which fight was it? It was Rinyat versus Andreas Michailidis. Fakradina versus Andreas Michailidis. I had a dream that the fight went the distance because I had a violence bet there. Ended up going the distance, which was crazy. And then last night I had a dream that David Onama knocked out Jonathan Pierce in the very first round. So kind of weird that I would have a dream about that fight and that outcome, but I had a dream that Onama knocked him out in the first round, which, yeah, that could happen. Like, that's on the tables, but I think Pierce is going to implement his will and break him down and finish him 2-3. I like the Pierce 2-3 props, and I really like violence here. I like the fight doesn't go to decision. I think it's a very generous price considering Onama has a 100% finish rate, and Pierce, I think, has finished all but 2 of his wins. A lot of finishes for both these guys. Pierce has been finished a ton. Onama's never been finished, but, I think that can change here against Pierce. So the only official plays right now are those Pierce 2-3 props, but I'll be adding like a fight doesn't go to decision, I think, at some point. I think it covers both sides. I think it's a good look, and you're not laying too much stock on it. From a DraftKings perspective, this is an incredible fight to target. Jonathan Pierce, 8,600. He's an insane DraftKings scorer. He can go out there and get 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 takedowns if need be. Just the pace, the control time, the strikes, the takedowns, it all adds up. And I think he's live for that late finish as well. And then even Onama, like 7,600, I think he's a live dog. He's super dangerous, hits like a truck, and he's really dangerous everywhere. Like on the ground, he has a submission game as well. We've seen Pierce sub before. We've seen Pierce put in some bad spots. And then on top of that, Onama has a ton of power on the feet. So incredible fight to target, but I'm leaning Pierce here. I took Onama as a dog. Yep, a lot of people are on Onama as a dog. He's a live dog. He's a live dog, but I'm on the Pierce side myself. Strategic weight miss. The Ryan Garcia game plan. I would like to think not, but maybe you never know. On JSP, small line's not wide enough. Onama round 2K at plus 10, plus 1,000. Yeah, I think if Onama wins, it's him catching JSP in the first or second round. Uncle Weezy had a dream about Aaron Blanchfield. You did. I forget what was it. Oh, actually, I do remember something along the lines of. Actually, I forget. I think she kicked you out of her house though, or something like that. But you definitely did have a dream about Aaron Blanchfield. You have to bet on Onama KO1 at least $20. Yeah, what is Onama KO1? Probably not the best price. Onama KO1 is plus like plus 1,000. Oh, plus 500. Plus 500. Um, Dirty Bird Dog of the Week. Fade him at your own peril. No, best of luck to you. I'll be on like the fight doesn't go, I think. My queen, Aaron Blanchfield. All right. Let's move on to the next fight. We got Jonathan Deniz going against Austin Lane. Yeah, Jonathan Deniz is like minus 360-ish at this point. Austin Lane is sitting around plus. Oh, looks like Deniz now minus 320. Austin Lane plus 270. So I parlayed up the fight won't start round 3 here at minus 450. Chalky, but I struggle to see this fight going 10 minutes. And I really struggle to see this fight going 7.5 minutes. I think the under 1.5 is a solid parlay piece as well. Austin Lane, a 100% finish rate in both his wins and losses. Austin Lane's never been the distance. Jonathan Deniz, 6 wins. All of them come inside the distance. All of them come in the first round. Both these guys, 22 combined fights. Never seen the scorecards, and I think that's why we're seeing the fight doesn't go at minus 1,000, obviously. And I think it's a good matchup for Deniz here in a sense that, Austin Lane, 4 losses, all 4 of them coming by first-round knockout. He's very hittable, has that tall man's defense, and Deniz is just going to march forward. And I think he's going to take his head off within the first couple minutes here. Austin Lane, this is a heavyweight fight. Both these guys hit hard. Deniz very inexperienced in terms of MMA. If Austin Lane's able to get on top here or even land a big shot in his own right, Lane, it's a heavyweight fight, but I think both those outcomes aren't that likely. It should be Deniz round 1. But I parlayed up that fight won't start round 3. I struggle to see this fight going longer. That's kind of how I'm playing it. From a DraftKings perspective, both sides definitely solid looks. With Deniz, you have a first-round knockout upside. And with Lane, you probably have a first-round knockout upside. Like, if Lane's winning this fight, it's probably him catching Deniz on the feet. Or if he does take him down, like, we've never seen Deniz off his back. And I'd imagine it's probably not the best. So, yeah, both guys solid from a DraftKings perspective, but I lean at Deniz at 9K. But Austin Lane's not a terrible pump play. But yeah, fun fight, but I think it ends, fairly early. Medic versus Means reminds me of Kennedy versus OSP. A little bit, yeah. Means and OSP are both 40 years old. Medic, younger guy, a little bit of hype. I can see it. Harry Hunsucker has never seen the stool, even in regionals. Yeah, Harry Hunsucker, we need to bring him back. I think, unfortunately, they cut him for some reason. I'm not sure why, but we do need to get Harry Hunsucker back in there. Instead of spending $1 or $2 grand on UFC tickets, I would use that money to pimp out my home theater for hosting watch parties. Yeah, I mean, you could definitely do a lot with $1 or $2 grand. All right, let's keep moving on. We got Karina Silva going against Ariana Lipski. Very interesting fight here. We have 2 fighters that have been looking incredible lately. Like, Ariana Lipski has really been at like a turning point in her career. There was at one point where, she was getting taken down and dominated by Antonina Shevchenko. And, she gave Montana De La Rosa her first KO win and, getting knocked out by Priscilla Cachoeira. I mean, I'm a big fan of Priscilla, but that's a horrible look. Like, Priscilla shouldn't be beating anybody in the UFC. But she knocked out Lipski in a minute. But since then, she's looked really good. She's stuffing takedowns. The takedown defense looks good. The striking looks good. She's showing power. She's getting finishes. Finishing Casey O'Neill was a great win. But now she's going against Karina Silva, which, out of this 3-fight winning streak that she's had, all as an underdog, I think this is probably her toughest matchup against Silva because I think Silva's going to be the most dangerous fighter she's fought because Silva's dangerous everywhere. On the ground, like, Lipski better hope this doesn't go to the ground. The ground is lava here for Lipski. If this fight hits the mat, Karina Silva is going to make this look easy. Like, it shouldn't take more than a minute before Silva finds that finish if this fight hits the mat. But Lipski's shown great takedown defense, so maybe that continues here. Maybe Lipski does stuff these takedowns, and if she does, on the feet, Lipski's probably the minute winner, but I think even on the feet, the moment winner is going to be Karina Silva. Silva hits hard. Lipski's very hittable. And Lipski, I don't think she has the best chin. Lipski has 4 losses by knockout. And Silva hits very, very, very hard. So even if Silva's not able to get that takedown, I think she can hurt her. I think she can drop her. I think she can get on top and finish. And then if Silva does get that takedown, it's a wrap. So Silva was an underdog last week. The line's been crushed in favor of Silva. She's now minus 155, minus 165. So I definitely missed the line, but there's a spot I do like. So they have the round 1 or round 2 prop for Karina Silva at plus 175. And I think that's a good look considering Silva's 17 wins. All 17 of them have been in the first or second round. She's never won a fight that's went to the third round. And I don't think that changes here. And if this fight does get to the third round, I worry about Silva even winning this fight. So I like Silva 1-2. I haven't bet it yet, but I'll be betting that fight. Not sure how much I'm putting on it. Not a ton, but I think that's how I'm going to play Karina Silva. I think it's a great way to get plus money on her at this point in the fight. If you like Lipski, maybe Lipski by decision, or maybe the Lipski round 2-3 props could be in play. But I like Silva here. And I like Silva from a DraftKings perspective as well. You can't ignore a fighter with a 100% finish rate, just dangerous wherever the fight goes. I like Silva in all formats. Let's see. Silva, the best bet on the card. It might have been last, like people got plus money on her. I don't know if she's the best bet on the card at minus 150, but if you got plus money on her, it could look like the best bet. I took Silva into the distance, no action, also through Lipski decision in a long parlay. Yeah, both are solid looks. Let's slow up with the word incredible. I mean, Lipski's looked incredible. I don't know what else you want me to say. Karina Silva's looked incredible. I don't know why you want me to slow down. I mean, do you think they've looked terrible? Or I don't know. They've been looking really good. Silva's the sexiest bet. Could look like it. Silva money line 3 units. Yeah, I'll be playing Silva in some type of fashion. Got her at plus 114. There you go. Like this line's been smashed. So, yep, I think the line movement's definitely warranted. But Lipski's came through as a dog 3 times in a row. I've been wrong 3 times in a row, and I'm looking forward to being wrong 4 times in a row here again. But yeah, I think Silva gets this one done. Hopefully, we'll see. All right, moving on to the co-main event, we got Ryan Spann going against Bogdan Guskov. This is going to be another parlay piece for me. I parlayed with the fight won't start round 3 with the Liang Na fight. Doesn't go to decision. 1.5 units on that. 2 parlays this week, both looking for some violence. And yeah, I don't think this fight sees the third round. And I also don't think this fight really sees the second round. Both these fighters are coming in there, ending the fight early. You can kind of see why. Both these guys are very dangerous, and both these guys are capable of being finished. We saw Volkan Oezdemir run right through Guskov, and we've seen Spann finished and in a lot of his losses as well. It's a tricky fight to kind of break down because skill for skill, I think Ryan Spann's like minus 1,000 here. But the problem with Ryan Spann is I think something's wrong with the guy, to be honest. Like he seems like a little bit of a head case, and he's just one of those guys that's just very hard to be trusted. There's some fights where Ryan Spann goes out there and looks like a top 5 fighter. And then there's some fights that goes out there and it's like, this guy's in the UFC. Like he just has up and down performances all the time. But I think Ryan Spann should win this fight. But I mean, it wouldn't shock me if Ryan Spann drops the ball like he tends to do quite a bit. And Guskov, for what it's worth, he does hit very hard. They're 2 big light heavyweights that are going to throw down. I think somebody's getting served. I think violence is the best way to play it. Not touching anything else other than that fight won't start round 3. And I even think the 1.5, under 1.5 is a good parlay piece as well. From a DraftKings perspective, love this fight to target. I think it ends in round 1. Ryan Spann, he's only 8,900. I think he can go out there, get a knockout or sub, club and sub. And then Bogdan Guskov, he's definitely a live dog. He has power. Spann's been finished a lot. He's been hurt a lot. But yeah, I think somebody's getting served here regardless. My pick is Spann. I think he's so much better than Guskov, but as we know, that always doesn't translate to a win. And Spann is just very inconsistent. So, yep, taking the fight won't start round 3 in a parlay. Silva dollars. Lipski greatly improved her footwork and takedown defense, but she's still chinny, and you can't fix that part of your game. Yeah, I do think she's chinny, but her takedown defense looks elite. Congrats to her on that. But yeah, if Silva does end up getting her down, though, it's going to be bad for her. But I think she can also knock her down. All right. So yeah, those are the 2 parlays there. The fight won't start round 3. And the Spann Guskov fight parlayed with the Liang Na fight doesn't go 1.5 units. And then the fight doesn't start round 3, and the Denise Lane fight parlayed with the Liang Na fight doesn't go to decision. So 3 units total on Liang Na fight ending inside the distance, and I feel pretty good about that. All right, let's get to this main event though. Doing pretty good on time. We have Matheus Nicolau going against Alex Perez. And this fight just confuses me. I mean, this is a fight that I'm going to be staying away from. First of all, what I'll say is, shout out to Alex Perez coming in here, showing up and making weight. Alex Perez was a guy that fought like once since 2020, but fought Mokaev not too long ago, like a month and a half ago, and then shows up a month and a half later, and here he is. So really quick turnaround for Alex Perez. So that's good to see. But it's a weird matchup. Like, I think, Nicolau's the more skilled fighter. I like a lot of Nicolau's game. I think he's a really good striker. He has very underrated power, tons of knockdowns in the UFC. He's a BJJ black belt. But the problem with Nicolau is a couple things. Like, he's just terribly low volume. Like, some of his fights are just hard to watch. Like, nothing happens in them. He doesn't do anything. But when he does let his hands go, he throws with a ton of power. And he's a really good striker. It's just he's so low volume. And then on top of that, like Alex Perez, when he's losing fights, a lot of times he's losing them by submission, but Nicolau's not really wrestling much. And if he does wrestle here, Alex Perez, for what it's worth, has just incredible takedown defense. We saw that against Mokaev and really a lot of his other fights. Like Alex Perez's takedown defense is elite. So I'm just not sure how this fight's going to play out. I absolutely don't trust either guy. Nicolau, I don't trust the volume. I don't trust the chin. Like, Nicolau's been finished 3 times by knockout. So I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I can see this fight playing out so many different ways. I'm definitely leaning Nicolau. I think he has a lot more ways to win. I think Nicolau can win this fight by decision. I think he can win it by submission. And even has power. Like, I can see him winning by knockout. So I can see Nicolau winning by any method. Whereas Perez, I think if Perez wins this fight, it's going to be him either catching Nicolau or just being a little bit more active. Like, if Perez wins this fight by decision, like, this fight could be awful. This could be just a very low volume fight. So, yeah, it's a fight that I'm not touching, but I'm going to pick Nicolau. But I don't have a ton of interest in it from a DraftKings perspective whatsoever. From a betting perspective. From a DraftKings perspective, I don't hate it either. But I do think there's better options. Like Nicolau 8,700, that just like the guys around him and the girl, like Karina Silva is cheaper. Jonathan Pierce is cheaper. Denise, not too much more. Ryan Spann, not too much more. So I think just because it's 5 rounds, I think Nicolau's in play, but I like other spots. And then Perez, I think, is a fine dog just because Nicolau, you can't trust his durability. But even that, I'm not too excited about. So, yeah, not the best main event. Like, I think a lot more people would be excited for this card if it was like Nicolau versus Kopp. Like, that'd be a kind of a fight to get excited about. But it is kind of hard to get excited about Nicolau Perez, at least for me, because I could see this fight just being awful. Just not a ton going on. But the 4 fights prior to that, I think, are awesome. Ryan Spann, Guskov's gonna be fun. Silva Lipski's gonna be fun. Denise Lane's gonna be fun. Pierce Onama's gonna be fun. Medic Mean's gonna be fun. Even Victor Henry, might go out there and have a good performance. So, yeah, solid overall card, but that's about it. So what I have so far from a betting perspective, and I'll be posting my betting breakdown video tonight. I have 3 units tied to the Liang Na Petrovic fight doesn't go to decision in 2 parlays. Not going to play anything in the Mahashate fight, but if you want to play something like the under, I think it hits, but I don't love the price. Not touching the on-top fight, not touching the Souza fight. Absolutely not touching the Machado fight. Absolutely not touching the Finglak fight. Victor Henry round 2 KO, I think, are really good sprinkles this week. I think it's very live if he goes out there with the right game plan, pushes the pace, and if he shows any urgency whatsoever, he finishes Yaya very easily, but we'll see. Medic means some type of violence. I'm thinking the fight doesn't go to decisions, minus 225. I don't think that's a terrible parlay piece, or even playing it straight. I don't think it's terrible. Pierce 2-3 props, and then the fight doesn't go, I think, is solid. I parlayed up the Denise Lane fight won't start round 3. Silva Lipski, I'm looking at Silva 1-2 at plus 175. She hasn't won any other way, and it's a good way to get plus money. Spann Guskov fight won't start round 3 in a parlay for me, but the under 1.5 is solid. And then I'm fading the main event. So keeping it light, keeping it short and sweet this week, and then we have a pay-per-view next week. Steve Erceg versus Alexander Pantoja. Get excited, get pumped up, because I definitely am. All right. Any final thoughts from you guys in the chat before we head out of here? Medic by sub, span by KO equals plus 2,375. I think both those outcomes are certainly on the table, but I could see Medic winning by knockout. I could see Span winning by sub as well, but you're getting massive odds on there. All right. I think that's about it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like on your way out. Subscribe to the channel. Check out Prize Picks, promo code DFSBTN, and we'll be back tonight for the betting breakdown, and then also tomorrow for best bet. See you guys later, and that's about it. Oh, and go Liang Na. I'm rooting for you. But